Okay, so this is Laura's lithop collection. Um, it's a collection of lithops in various stages of growth, and there are more outside in our little greenhouses. And so, starting with the smallest ones, which there are more outside. So these are tiny lithops that are
3 months old.
3 months old, right? Yeah, good point. Seed grown from seed. And so that's kind of what they look like. I mean, if you see my fingertip, that's my fingertip there. So they're very, very small. And then going up in size. So, like showing various sizes of development. Like, I don't know, it's hard to explain the growth cycle of a lithop. Like, basically, they're a little round, plump plant with a few leaves, but they start off as like a round ball, a bit like this. And then what happens is they start to split. And so when they split, let's see, there's a good example. There's one that's starting to split, and inside are two new leaves facing the other direction, so they alternate. So, like, here's an example as well. If I can. Oh no, that's not the one I was thinking of. It's hard to see. Here we go. So there you see the two leaves that are coming up from inside, and so the outside leaves eventually they shrivel up and get swallowed by the inside leaves, and the moisture from the outside leaves gets sucked back into the plant. Here's an example of actually that's nice, but like trying to think. Here's a double header. Oh, it's really hard to see with the camera in front. There's a double header coming out, and the old leaves are starting to wrinkle up and become dry. You see the corners are very dry, and so at this point you don't water them. Is that right?
Yeah. You don't water them.
You don't water them.
Let the old leaves be absorbed by the new leaves.
Right. Whereas something like this hasn't even started to split yet. Like, eventually it'll make a hole in the center and open up. So that doesn't need water either yet.
No.
Um,
Probably won't need water until October, until they're fully absorbed and split.
is there an example of one that's ready to water, roughly? Oh, maybe so, like this one here, for example. That one there has just got its outside leaves.
That one's almost ready.
Yeah, right. But the difference, so then, but the thing is, you don't start, because it's quite plump, like if you touch the top of it,
It's hard.
it's hard, so it's already still got water in it that it's absorbed from the outside leaves. But when that starts to wrinkle and become a little bit soft, then it's a good time to water it. And really, you only water these 2 times a year, or at least at two different seasons in the year. Is that
Spring
right?
and autumn.
Spring and autumn. The rest of the time, they're sort of either dormant or they're reabsorbing their water from their old leaves. And then what happens is they flower, which we don't really have any of them in flower, but actually in the book, let's see if I'll just grab the book. So this book, Lithops, Treasures of the Veld, Stephen A. Hammer, and photographs by Christopher Barnhill. Anyway, there's amazing photographs actually in this book. A beautifully published book. It's basically the best book on lithops, apparently, according to many collectors. And anyway, yeah, so that's what they look like when they're in flower. And they flower for a short while, and then
After that, they start growing their new leaves inside.
yeah, that's right. They go through that next new leaf cycle. So that's what they look like a bit in the wild, and they grow in the wild. And this book has lots of photos of where they come from. So mostly South Africa. You see here, these are all the dots of where they've been found in the wild, up all the way up to sort of Cape Freya, Zimbabwe, Angola, Namibia, Botswana. Yeah, and then there was one random case of something being found in Germany, but strange. Anyway, that was from a collector apparently, and there's just no case of it found in the wild. So, but it probably was originally from the wild in South Africa somewhere. So getting back to the actual plants, and so after they flower, the flower shrivels up and they create like a seed head, which is this here. And this is the time not to water them. If you do accidentally water that seed head, it pops open and the seeds will sprinkle out or burst out. There's a good photo of that in the book, actually. I might show you that. So that's a seed head on the left that's unopened, and then if on the right, once it opens, all the little seeds in there wash out with more rain. Or you can actually collect them and send them. And so most of these lithops were grown from seeds. Well, all of them, I guess. You can't really divide lithops until they get much bigger. Although, yeah, you can. I suppose like a mature lithop clump can get to quite large. Let's see if I can find a photo of one. So that's an example of a large clump of lithops. And another example. Here's an example of some more large lithops. And this is from a guy named Kakagwal, KKAGRAWAL.com. He seems to have a very comprehensive collection of lithops. Thank you for providing these photos. We're not actually copying them, we're just showing what's on the internet as free information, I guess. Anyhow, so yeah, probably visit there if you want to see some more. Alright, show us a couple of more photos. So these are some examples of some, interesting varieties. I won't go into the names. It's just very, very small differences between a lot of the different varieties. The fissures and the wrinkles and the colours and the patterns. They're actually incredibly different when you look at them up close. Quite beautiful as well. The colours are very iridescent. And we've recently set up a greenhouse on the balcony for the young lithop seedlings. And these are Laura's successful seeds that have germinated. Lots of them. They're starting to colour up quite nicely as well. And eventually they get to a size where you can divide them and put them up individually, which is tried doing that down here with a few of them, but a few of them died after potting up. But and they've all got a name and a call number, which was named by the people who published that book that we were showing you. These are sort of experts on the lithops, and so they named them first. And that's about it, really. And these are some other plants we've got on our little table here. These are Haworthias. This is a Haworthia. What's that called again? Mochi Sulozui or something. Gosh, don't ask. There you can see the spelling. But I love these. They're really pretty, like windows on the flowers and on the leaves, I mean. There's another Haworthia. And some baby toes, which are very unusual looking succulents. They're a bit wrinkly this time of year. We've been not sure whether to water them or not. Some of them have started to rot away, but they're doing okay. And this is a Dickia. And Dickias are very spiky. Oh my god, savage plant. Tend to avoid the savage spiky plants, but I bought this from a friend who was very friendly to us.
You showed Titanopsis.
Oh, what's this? A Titanopsis. Oh, yes. These are a different type of succulent. Not really a lithop. They're a succulent. These are tiny little seedlings. They're the seedlings there. They're only just starting to grow, but cool. Like, wait till you see a Titanopsis when they. Let's see if I can find a picture of a Titanopsis. There's another one there popping up out of the gravel. So only 4 survived out of a batch of 30 seeds or so. Here's one example of a Titanopsis. They get this really interesting texture on the leaves. It looks a little bit like lichen. And they come in all different colours and patterns. Another one, for example. That's cool. It's really nice.
So that's it for today's succulent litho demo video amateur kind of. Yeah, we're learning, but like to share.